just going to very quickly introduce you to myself and just to my business, Introtweet. So I'm Laura, I'm one of the directors of Introtweet. Introtweet was founded in 2013, so it's been going for sort of almost 8 years now. And in the world of social media, that has meant quite a lot has changed. Instagram especially actually as a platform has really developed in the past year or so. So previously we used to just kind of tag Instagram on the end really. We'd do a sort of big Facebook training workshop and then we'd say actually 10 minutes or so is fine for Instagram. As you know, today you're at a 3-hour workshop and actually this workshop could go on a lot longer now. There's just so much more to cover. So social media, in the time our business has been around, Instagram in particular has really developed. So we are a social media company. We're based in Taunton and we've got kind of 2 main strands really to our business. One is social media management. So we sort of take over our clients' account and do all their posting and engaging and inquiries, etc. for them. Or we're primarily, our team is made up of former teachers. So we also do workshops. So obviously in a normal world, we'd be doing it all face-to-face. But obviously for the past 18 months or so, we've been doing them all online. So that's a very quick intro to us here at Introtweet. Oops. So I'm just going to quickly share with you what I plan to discuss with you today, what the workshop will entail, and then you're going to have 30 seconds or so, which I know sometimes people hate, but 30 seconds or so just to very quickly introduce yourself and just to let me know a couple of bits of information so I can know that as I'm going through the workshop today. So to start off with, I'm just going to share with you a few kind of key points about Instagram. So a few statistics, a few stats about how people use the platform, and a few benefits for you. So if you're not really putting much into Instagram at the moment, I'll share the top benefits with you so you know what you can get from it if you do decide after this workshop, which hopefully you will, to really build your Instagram presence. You're also going to learn some of the basics, so just sort of how to do a really brilliant Instagram post, how to build your followers, how to reply to engagement, and just a few kind of nitty-gritty bits like that. And then we're going to jump into lots of the key features of Instagram. So lots of these are now video related, and actually Instagram has slightly changed, and there has been a bit of a big announcement around Instagram. A big announcement which lots of people panicked at, but actually you don't need to, and I'm going to be explaining that a bit later on. So that's going into a few of the features like Instagram Stories, Instagram TV, Instagram Reels. So these might be completely new words for you, or actually if you use Instagram a little bit, you might have come across these, but by the end of the day, you'll know all about them. And there's also going to be a little bit of time for you to actually look at some of these key features I'm discussing and to actually consider how you can use them for your business moving forward. And then we're going to end today with a little bit of strategy and content discussion. So as I said, I'm sharing a lot with you today, and it'd be great if you could leave with a little bit of a plan of action about how you're actually going to be using all of these features. So just to begin, if that's okay, just like to very quickly go around everybody and I'd like to, first of all, if you can just introduce yourself and your business, but primarily if you can just let me know just the main reason you're here today, basically, so what you really want to take away from the workshop. And if you could very quickly just say if you're a total beginner when it comes to Instagram, or actually you sort of regularly use it and know a little bit about it. So who you are, what you want to gain, and if you're a beginner or not. So I don't know if, Jen, do you mind sort of facilitating?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to get everyone on my screen. Hi, so I will start. So Jen, Somerset Chamber of Commerce. Twitter, I'm more than confident on, more than happy with, as the other platforms, but Instagram, although I have a personal account, I don't really know how to use it. So it's there, it's up. I post every now and again, but more quite haphazardly. I'm never really 100% sure of what I'm doing. So I'm going to post, but I'm not really sure who's seeing it, what's happening, how to react to people's stuff. So yeah, that's me. Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Emma?
Hi, I'm Emma from Dan's Engineering. I've just taken on a new sort of role in my job to do a bit of PR for Dan's. Quite confident with Facebook. Instagram, I do personal bits, but I do the basics, don't really know much about stories and reels. And I just want to know a bit more about that and hashtags, really. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
Oh yeah, I'm an engineer, mainly running CNC machines, but I've been given the job of uploading fancy pictures of parts to Instagram, basically, and that's about as far as I can get. So yeah, I take nice photos, upload them, and that's about as much as I can do.
Okay. Perfect.
Julie? Oh yeah. Just need to unmute.
Hi there. Right, can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh my goodness, it's working. Okay, so I am Julie Blake. I'm commercial manager for a jam making company in Highbridge called Somerset Cuisine. We are predominantly making stuff for other people, but we've got a very exciting time coming up where we're launching our own brand. So it's very new to us. So what we want to be doing is we want to be engaging Instagram, because we think that's the perfect platform for kind of marmalade making, which is what we're going to be doing. I use Instagram fairly regularly, I would say. I use it for my horse. He has a very active Instagram page, only in so much that I'm just posting the odd video and the odd photo of him. But I have absolutely no idea where to start in terms of the marmalade brand, because the first Instagram picture, story, or whatever is going to be all important, I believe. So yeah, so that's us. Thank you.
Oh.
Alex? Yep, that's you.
I'm not actually Alex, I'm just on someone else's computer. This is Claire. We work for a company in Wellington, Somerset called Air Seal Products. It's a puncture preventative, like tyre sealant we sell. We use a bit of Twitter. We have a Twitter course in a few weeks, but yeah, Instagram is just basically personal use. But we don't have a marketing lady at the moment, so we're kind of doing it. So we wanted to know how to, boost our business page on Instagram. I do Facebook, but Instagram, no, nothing, just the odd personal thing, really. So yeah.
Dave?
I don't think Dave's mic.
It's posted in the chat, I think.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. All right. Okay. We've had that from before, haven't we? Okay. Perhaps Laura can have a look in the chat to see what he's mentioned about his abilities. Kirsty?
Hi, I'm Kirsty Mode from Doe Marketing. My husband and I run a marketing company. My side of the business is public relations. When my clients need a lot of help with social media, I actually tend to work with someone like Laura. So Instagram is not something I really use myself, but I do want to have a better understanding of it, because although somebody like Laura would very much manage the account, just having a better understanding of what it does and what it can offer for my clients and how we can measure it is kind of what I want to get from today.
Thank you. Now, Jennifer and Cecilia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I've just switched my video on. Hi. Recognise a few familiar faces. So yeah, we're both from the lighting people. I don't want to sort of introduce Cecilia, I'll let her do that, but we're both from the lighting people. My knowledge of Instagram is limited. I don't know when Instagram first came out, but I think I used it many years ago. I look back at my sort of Instagram wall, if you like, now, and it looks very dated, and I haven't used it for years and years since. In fact, I don't really know my login details from many years ago. But with regards to the lighting people, we work on architectural lighting projects, so with architects, interior designers, etc. And we're always being told, why don't you do more on Instagram? Everyone's on Instagram. We get loads of business from Instagram. It's really, really good for our industry. So we've started having a go, if you like, whereas we're better on the other platforms. So we just want to be able to improve at that, really, and make it work for us a little better.
Cool, thank you. And is your colleague, so you're working together, is that right?
Yeah. We're working together, yeah. We're in different locations, but we're working together.
Okay. And your experiences and your knowledge, Cecile? I'm sorry, I have no idea how to...
No, that's okay.
Cecilia,
Cecilia. No, that's totally fine. Like Jennifer said, I work at the Lighting People and we do lighting design. I've been sort of trying to create a lot of templates, so just revamping the branding side of things. And so we've been creating these templates for social media, and then thinking about it more, I realized I do know some about Instagram, but really not a lot, especially for my age. I feel like all my friends know so much about Instagram and I just post pictures and that's pretty much it. So sort of not entry level, but I don't know a ton about Instagram and I really want to learn, because one of my friends has a page and she went from like 0 to 1,000 in a few months, and she's just been doing all these different things, like she does reels and all this extra stuff. And I thought, you know what, I probably need to learn some more about it to figure out how I can do what she's done and create more engagement and things like that.
Perfect. Bro, is that everybody?
I think that's everybody, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Bro, so I think actually most of us are at a very similar level. Dave, I got your chat. So Dave knows nothing about Instagram. So you're going to have the biggest learning curve, Dave, but we're all kind of pretty much at the same level. And I think actually that demonstrates just how quickly Instagram has developed actually. And as I said, it's had a real boom in the past year or so. And actually all these new things have popped up, like stories, reels, Instagram TV. And it has, if you haven't used Instagram very much, even just in the past few months, you suddenly think, hang on a minute, we're a bit left behind and we don't quite know what's happening. So this workshop today will fill you in on everything. This is just here, these are just some of the usernames of a few of the people that are attending this workshop today. These are everyone who I could find. So apologies if I've missed you off there, if I couldn't find your platform. But I can send this PowerPoint over to you at the end of the workshop today. So if you wanted to follow any of the other accounts here today, you've got their information there. So I'm just going to start just by sharing some of the kind of few stats with you about Instagram and a few benefits. So if you don't really use Instagram that much currently, what you could hopefully gain from using the platform. So Instagram is now owned by Facebook. And this is why Instagram has seen such huge growth over the past couple of years, because whether you love Facebook or hate Facebook, Facebook is still the key player when it comes to social media, and actually is always going to be. Facebook has all the money, all the features, and actually even though Facebook has had a few slightly dodgy news stories, shall we say, over the past few years about data breaches and things like that, they make such an incredible amount of money that actually even their fines are just sort of nothing to them. So Facebook have all the power, all the money. So actually they've bought Instagram and they've now injected lots of money into Instagram. So therefore we're seeing all these new features and we're seeing lots more people join the platform. So there's now roughly sort of 1 billion people use Instagram actively, sort of on a daily, weekly basis. Facebook, it's sort of 2.8 billion use it. So Facebook still double the amount of people. So I'm glad to hear that lots of you actually really like Facebook and are putting a lot of your business energy into that. But actually Instagram is now is the second most used behind Facebook. So now is a great time for you to really be learning about Instagram and all the key features. So you're in the right place, which is brilliant. 71% of the Instagram users currently are under 35. So I think with Instagram, why lots of people haven't put very much time into it, I think people still think that Instagram is only for young people. And actually, if your business isn't targeting sort of 20, 18-year-olds, there's no point being on there. But actually, you can see from there that actually, you know, people who are a bit older, hate to say older too much because I suddenly realise I'm in that category, so there are 34, 33, 30-year-olds on Instagram. And actually the sort of 36 to 49 group is rapidly growing. So as Instagram is getting more features and it's becoming much more of a business platform, the age level is really starting to rise on the platform. So if you had a thought that Instagram is only for young people, that can be scrapped now. You know, actually you can find most generations on the platform now, and you will be able to reach them with the tailored, correct content. 51% of the users of Instagram are female, and actually this used to be a lot bigger. So females used to completely dominate the platform. That's not so much the case anymore. Depending on what your business is, so for example, the sort of marmalade making, it's a stereotype, but you might find actually you might have 80% females following you, for example, and only 20% men. But you can go into your insights, and I'll talk to you about these later, and you can figure out who your followers are, and then you can adjust your content accordingly to that. But actually, so it's not just young people, it's not just women. So there are a few kind of preconceptions that can now go. Why lots of people use Instagram as well and love Instagram is actually it can be a lot more rewarding from a social media perspective, because you do tend to get a lot more engagement on Instagram than you do on Facebook. So Facebook, sometimes you will do a post, and sometimes it can feel a bit like sort of tumbleweed rolling along, and you feel like nobody's seeing your content anymore. On Instagram has started sometimes to get a little bit like that, but on the whole, it generates 4 times more the engagement than Facebook. So actually, if you're doing great posts, if you're doing lots of the video content that I'm going to be sharing with you later, you are going to be getting quite good engagement levels on Instagram. And that's just a bit more rewarding when you're spending lots of time creating content, when you're spending lots of time creating video, you know, you want people to be seeing it and engaging with it. So you'll hopefully find it a bit more satisfying to use. And then a couple of interesting stats just about how people use the Instagram in a business sense. So 80% of users, so daily Instagram users, use the platform to decide whether to use a service or to buy a product. So actually, if one of their friends recommends something, so recommends using a service, recommends buying a particular product, they will go onto Instagram and search for this brand. So they'll look at their photos, they'll look at their videos, they're looking at what they're doing. So you always have to remember that when it comes to Instagram, social media in general, that actually what you're posting is your shop front, and people will be judging you based on what you are doing. So actually you want to make sure that everything you're sharing is good content, as good as you can make it. So really great photography, some good videos if you can have access to video content. And actually, if you do have an Instagram profile and you haven't posted on it since, I don't know, 2018 or something, people might come to that and think, oh, maybe you're not in business anymore if you're not posting. And that can sort of sound a bit dramatic, but actually if people find you and you know you're not there anymore, you're not doing any engagement, doing any posts, that might be a conclusion that people come to. So you want to have stuff there for people to find. 50% of people that use Instagram follow at least one business. So people like to use the platform to engage with businesses. They will follow brands, so they'll follow a local gin brand, or they'll follow their local gym on Instagram. People like to see a bit of the behind the scenes and a bit about what the brand has to say. So Instagram gives you this really good potential. And as I said, now is the perfect time really to get to grips with Instagram, as there's a real boom in the number of users, a real boom in the number of features. So as I said, if you don't go on Instagram now for a couple of months, you will probably miss a new feature, and new things will happen, new things will start to develop. So actually you want to make sure you're using it as consistently as you can and just really staying up to date with what's happening. Because as you said, I think, was it Cecilia that mentioned, if otherwise all your friends or the other businesses will end up doing all these brilliant videos, doing all this brilliant content, and you'll think, how on earth are they doing that? And you realize actually you don't really have a clue about the platform. So a few of the real benefits then when it comes to Instagram. So Instagram is one of the best platforms when it comes to really sort of building a community of your audience and really sort of building relationships with them. So you might follow some of your current clients, they'll hopefully be following you back. You want to then follow your target audience. So actually, if you know that people that will buy from your business, they're based in Somerset, They might love going for hikes, they might love gardening or sunshine or anything. You can search for those particular activities, search for those particular hashtags. We discuss hashtags later on. Search for all these different keywords and just really find the people that you know will be interested in your business. Follow them, maybe engage with some of their content, and just really work to build these relationships. Instagram as well is the platform where people are most likely to tag you as well and to say thank you for Introtweet for visiting today to do a workshop. They're going to then post this on their Instagram feed. They'll maybe do a story or a video about us. And actually this is where most of the tags, this is where people tend to feel most comfortable doing this. So actually building this community is something that Instagram is really brilliant for. Also, you're going to be able to really use it to build your brand awareness. So you could search on Instagram for Somerset businesses. And for example, you might follow, obviously Somerset Chamber, hopefully you're already following. You could have a look at who the Chamber is following, and you maybe might follow them because you think actually they're going to be Somerset businesses. They're either your target audience, or actually they might just be people that you're interested in and you'd like to see what they're sharing and some of their content and engage with them. And actually when you follow them, they'll get a notification and your business name will pop up, and that's just sort of instant brand awareness. Hopefully they'll click on your name and come over and follow you, and therefore the relationship is just starting to begin and you're starting to get this brand awareness. On Facebook as well, if lots of you use that, you'll find sometimes it's hard to know whether you're liking a page as your personal self or your business self, and it could just get a bit confusing. On Instagram, you just log in and you're your business profile straight away and you can just engage as that. So actually it can be a bit simpler in that respect as well. Something that Instagram is really working on as well is Instagram shopping. So once this is complete, they basically want you to be able to buy a product from Instagram without leaving at all. So you can just click on a particular tag, you can see the price, you can see the info, and you can just click buy, and then it will be linked to your card or to your PayPal, and you'll just be able to buy that in one click. This sort of exists at the moment, but at the moment people have to go to your website to check out. And as I said, ultimately, you won't need to leave the platform. You can just do everything on there. And actually, this is going to develop as well. So once the shopping is live, there'll be things like a button for you to send an email to a business or book an appointment with them or book a meeting. So social media is on the side of businesses. You know, they make a lot of money from businesses using their platforms, primarily by doing advertising or advertising to the business. So they are introducing lots of features which really help businesses. Oops, sorry, I just dropped some. So Instagram is on your side and it's always doing brilliant things which you can then really take advantage of for your business. Now, just quickly show you, this is what shopping looks like on the platform. So you can see, this is just an Instagram account. You can see there's a little kind of shopping tag on their Instagram feed. So the squares right at the bottom of the first image. You can see there's a little shopping bag. You can then click on that and it will show you the images along. So it will show you the particular cards, it will show you how much they are, and you can then click on them and you can buy them. So at the moment, it will just say checkout on website and you have to leave and go elsewhere. But moving forward, it'll be where you can just buy it straight away on the platform, which is going to be really great for businesses that sell products. But as I said, if you're a service as well, you might be able to do it where people can book an appointment or contact you really easily. So actually it's going to be really beneficial for you. Instagram can be good as well to grow your website traffic. There's a bit of a snag with this and you have to work a bit harder for that. So when you create your Instagram profile, and I'll be sharing with you a sort of a brilliant profile and what to do, but you can add your website link to your Instagram bio. And this is clickable. So we've got our website link. People can click the link in our bio and visit our website. But if you're doing a post on Instagram and you put a website link in the post, this isn't clickable. So this is a real con of Instagram actually, and I still haven't quite figured out why they've done it, because it's such a pain. And you see lots of businesses put a website link in their post because they might have just copied it from Facebook or something, and you just assume it's going to be clickable, which is a fair assumption to make, but it's not. So the terminology you use on Instagram, you just do a post as normal, and then you'd say, to find out more, or to read our blog, or to buy our product, hit the link in our bio. And this terminology is always used on Instagram. So it might feel a bit strange for you to say it initially, but actually it's the language of Instagram. So people are used to doing it. So you can say that in your posts and people will do it. And you can monitor your insights. You can see how many people are clicking the link, and people do. So you can feel free to say that phrase. Just make sure you put a bit of a call to action on it. So give people a reason. So they're reading something, they're finding a discount code, or, you know, there's an exciting announcement waiting for them on the website, or just sort of something to encourage people. Instagram as well, obviously, gives you a really great opportunity to showcase really great visuals to do with your business. So this is either photography or videos. It can be really long videos, up to an hour long, or really short videos, are sort of 15 seconds long. So there's a real mix of content on there, but it gives you a great chance to showcase your business. So this may be your products, your services. You also will want to showcase a bit of your sort of business personality. So actually, if your office is based in a really beautiful location, which it hopefully might be in Somerset, so whether you've got a gorgeous office view, or we've got a sort of river going past our office, it looks a bit brown and muddy at the moment, but if it looked a bit nicer, we might do a post about that. Or we often have swans or kayaks going down it or something. So obviously we're in Somerset. Hopefully there'll be some beautiful photography you can take and just share that kind of side of your business a little bit. Also, Instagram is having a real trend at the moment for this sort of live content. So this is either you doing a live video. So live video is something lots of people really shy away from. And you know, and we can see why. This isn't something that everyone likes to do. But actually it could be a live video. It doesn't always have to be you talking. It could be a live video of your office view, or you packaging a product, or a time-lapse video of you providing your service, and things like that, with engineering and building and lighting and things like that. There might be some really quirky ways you can use video content. And video is going to be a big part of this workshop today, and a few of the features I'm going to be discussing. Also, Instagram, you can now do advertising on the platform. So now Facebook owns Instagram. You can do an advert on Facebook and it can directly go to Instagram, or you can do an ad just directly on Instagram. So you can use this, and so you're paying for Instagram to show your content to your ideal clients, so to your target audience. So even if they don't follow you, you'll be able to say, actually, I want Instagram to show this post to women aged between 20 and 45 who live in Somerset, and then you can list a number of interests. So advertising on Facebook, advertising on Instagram does work really well. So it might be something you want to have a little go at. And ultimately, all of these benefits, so using lots of the key features, growing your community, growing your website traffic, will ultimately lead to increased sales and inquiries for your business. And obviously that is the aim for most of us at the end of the day. So you want to be trying to track this a bit if you can. So some businesses would have a code which actually they only share with their Instagram users for a discount, or they'll actively be always looking at their insights. And actually, if you know your website traffic has gone up by 200% in the past month since you've been using Instagram, and you're also getting more inquiries, you can sort of put two and two together and see that Instagram is working for you in that sense. Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly talk you through some of the basics really when it comes to your Instagram profile and what you should have there, and sort of what makes a great Instagram profile. And then I'm gonna share my phone screen with you just to show you a couple of these features in action. So you want to make sure on your Instagram profile that you've got a sort of nice, clear profile picture, and making sure that it's not cut out at all. your Instagram profile picture is a circle. So lots of us have kind of rectangular or square logos. So you want to just make sure that your Instagram logo isn't cut off at all. And actually it can be quite easy to do that and never really realize. So it's worth just having a little look at that. Making sure that the name of your profile and the username, which is the @ symbol. So we're at Introtweet UK, the @ chamber_Somerset. You want to make sure that this username is as clear and is as simple as possible. Lots of visitors end up with sort of Introtweet 123 or something. If you can, try and avoid adding the numbers if you can. Why people do this is because sometimes your username is already in use, but actually if you use an underscore, which I know a few of you have, you can sometimes find a username that hasn't been used. So just try and do the underscores. That can look a bit more professional than having lots of the numbers in it. Making sure as well that you've got a really detailed bio on the platform. So this can either be describing what you do, it can showcase award wins, it can showcase some key features of your products. You might even have a call to action in your bio. So for example, you might say, hit the website link below to get in touch, or use this code to buy from us. And actually don't be afraid to change this bio. So actually our businesses change over time. You might have an event coming up, or a new discount code, or you might put a different website link in, because actually for that month you want people to go directly to your blog, or directly to another social media platform, or just whatever, or directly maybe to Eventbrite if you're running an event. So just remembering that your bio can be changed. So actually if you've just won a brilliant award, maybe put that in your bio, and then you can always go back and change it if you like. Make sure that if you're creating a new profile, make sure it's a business profile. So I'll show you how you can do this in a moment, but basically this gives you a few benefits. So one is it gives you your insights. So I've already talked a little bit about insights, just how useful they are, just to see what's working for you. And also it gives you the chance to have some clickable buttons. So we've got a contact button on our Instagram, which people can click, and it goes straight to email, so they can email us. You might have a call now button, and just really using all of these different features. I'm going to be talking to you as well about Instagram stories, and I'll show you on our profile how you can add sort of highlights, they're called, and I'll explain what these are later, but I'll show you how they look. And just trying to make sure you're using all the different sections of your profile. So lots of you in the intro said that actually you're only sharing posts. So the aim after today is to share posts, but also do stories, also do some video, and actually your Instagram profile will then just look really full, and you're just sharing, a lot of different things on your platform then, and you're going to be getting more engagement then as a result. So variety sort of really is a spice of life really across all social media, but actually making sure you're sharing a post, and then maybe a short video, then a long video, and just kind of shaking it up a little bit. So I'm going to just quickly do another share and share my phone with you now, so I can show you our Introtweet Instagram profile. So it can take a few seconds, but hopefully will all work okay. And I can just talk you through our Instagram feed. So hopefully you can all see Instagram now. Seeing if anyone nods if you can. Yeah, brilliant. So you can see our Instagram profile. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the features I've discussed. So you can see, so right at the top, we've got our, so there's the circle. So instead of our logo, because our logo is a rectangle, it was sort of quite hard really, or it'd have to be quite small to get it fitting perfectly in that space. So we've just got a picture of us. I think that's actually at the Somerset Business Awards. We need to update it actually now with our new guy, but so you can see that. And actually we always think it's quite nice to have your profile picture with people in it, so actually people feel like they're engaging with people rather than just a logo. I think for us at Introtweet that's easy because there's only 4 of us, so we can do that. Obviously, if you've got a larger team, you might think actually we're happy just having our logo there, and it's totally up to you what you do. But just making sure that when you upload that, it doesn't cut anything off and it just looks great, because that's going to be people's first impression of your Instagram account. You also want to make sure, so right at the very top where it says Introtweet UK, this is our Instagram username. So this is how people find us. So we want to make that as simple and as easy as possible. So this is the bit where I said if you can try not to add numbers here and do things like add underscores instead if you're struggling to create a username. And then just making sure, so under our logo there it says Introtweet Limited. Sometimes when people create their Instagram account, they'll sometimes get a bit confused and end up putting their personal name in there, and all sorts of funny things go on sometimes, but making sure that they're both your business and this is your business profile. So underneath then we've got our Instagram bio. So you can see there, we're just explaining what we do. We've got a couple of emojis in there just to make it a little bit more interesting. This bio can only be 150 characters. So as most things on social media, you're always having to sort of limit what you're doing. And it can be quite hard if you've got lots of things to say. But actually you might want to just put some key points about your business there. You might want to put how to get in touch with you. And then you can see underneath, we've got our website link, so introtweet.com. This is clickable. So as I said about website links, this website link is the only link that's clickable on Instagram. So you want to make sure that you've got this in there and that's there to stay. You can also see as well, so if I scroll down a little bit, so because I'm logged in, I can click edit profile. And if I wanted to change my profile picture, if I wanted to change the website link, I can just click in here and I can make any edits I'd like to. But also you can see the middle button is Insights. And we'll look at Insights a bit later, but this is just telling you how your profile is performing, who your audience are, what posts are doing the best, just so you can really gain some real insight into your account and then do more of what's working well. You can also see we've got a contact button there, so people can click on that and they can email us. So these are the benefits that I mentioned about having a business account. If you're not a business account or you're not sure if you are, if you go to in the top right hand corner, you can see there's 3 lines. So next to the plus, there's 3 lines. So if I click on that and then go to settings, this is where if you want to do most things on Instagram, if you get to the settings, you'll be in a good place to start. If you then go all the way down to account, so that's basically right at the bottom of the list, click account, right to the bottom of that, you'll see here it says for us, switch account type, because we're already a business. But if you were only a personal profile, it would say switch to a business account. You just click that, 9 times out of 10, it works really easily, and you switch to a business account and it all works fine. So we would recommend switching to a business account so you've got some of these benefits we mentioned, like insights and contact buttons, etc. I'll talk about it a lot more later on, but I've mentioned the word stories a little bit. Stories are basically photos or video content on Instagram that they only last for 24 hours. So they're playing on this sort of trending topic at the moment of live spontaneous content, and they only last 24 hours. You're sharing kind of behind the scenes content into your business. But Instagram are noticing people actually were sharing really brilliant things to their stories. And actually, it's a bit of a shame sometimes for it to just vanish without a trace after 24 hours. So it then gave you the option to add story content to what they're calling your highlights. So these are what we've got along here where it says, so team intro tweet, workshops, tweet over coffee, latest news, etc. And you can then add, most of your stories, if you want them to stay forever, you can add them to your highlights. And then you can just create what we've done here for most of them. We've created a little stories cover. And we do this actually on a free platform that's called Canva, which I'm sure lots of you have heard of. If you haven't, it's graphic design software that's really easy to use. It's completely free. We do pay actually for the pro version because it just has a few benefits, but it's still brilliant free. And it's just got lots of templates. So it's got templates for stories, templates for the perfect sized Instagram post. And it just really helps you on your way sometimes as the starting point to creating great content. And you might want to create some highlight covers, as we've done here. We haven't done for one there, our online workshops, for our stories covers. And it just makes your profile look a little bit more professional, looks a little bit more like you know what you're doing, basically. And then this is our Instagram feed. So you can see we're sharing, you share your photos to your Instagram feed. And you can see there's different bits and bobs going on through there. And I'll discuss some different things with you later on. But also you can see along the top, there's some various buttons. So if I go to the second one along, this is Instagram Reels. So I'll discuss this a bit later on. This is video content again. Your little short videos all go to a set place on Instagram. So there's an app called Boomerang. I don't know if you've used that before, where it's just like a repeating video over and over again. So they all share to your, save to your Instagram feed. So you just want to make sure you're using all of these different things on Instagram for your business. And then the last one as well is where people have tagged you in content. So for example, if I click on the third one here, we worked with a business that did some of our latest photography. So they tagged us in an Instagram post using our username, so our @Introtweet UK. So that's why this is important, because your customers, other businesses will be using it. They've tagged us, so we get a notification and we can then go over and we can like it. You can see I've got a little red heart there, so I've liked it, or I can comment on it and say thank you for the great photography, etc. So you can then start to do this engagement using your profile. So that's just a bit of a whistle-stop tour then through the Instagram profile. So now I'm just going to go back, and as I said, I'm going to email you. We can email you the PowerPoint, so you'll be able to see all these different bits and bobs. So you've got a list here that you can then follow and make sure is fully up to date for your business. The next thing, when your profile is completely up to scratch, you then want to make sure that you're following some of these recommendations when it comes to doing Instagram posts. Just have a little look. I've just had a couple of questions in the chat. So actually, Celia's asked, is it possible to make a pre-existing profile into a business profile? And the answer is yes. So where I went to those 3 lines in the corner, you can just go to settings, account, and then just switch to a business profile. As I said, 9 times out of 10, this works perfectly. If it doesn't, sometimes you need to do a few things. So have a go and follow it and see. If you really struggle with it, feel free to email us and we can help a little bit, but hopefully it should be nice and easy for you. So once you've got your profile all up to scratch and it's looking how you want it, you then want to start to think about how to create a perfect post. So I've mentioned the word video a lot, but actually don't forget about your Instagram feed. So where I showed you all of the squares, so all of the photos we've uploaded, this is your shop front really when it comes to Instagram. This is what people will see when they first search for you. And as we know from the stats at the start, people are searching for your business on Instagram. So you want to make sure you don't get so hung up with doing all the videos and all the new stuff that actually you forget about your feed. So just sort of bear that in mind. First of all, when it comes to sharing content on Instagram, because it's such a visual platform, you want to make sure your photos, etc., are as good as they can be, basically. So they don't need to be professional photography. As we know, our phones are so good nowadays. And actually, you can create really great photography yourself. And actually, you can add things like filters to your pictures or add some more light, etc., and just make it all look better really quite quickly. So I'll show you how to do that. So you can add photos to your feed. You can also add short videos to your Instagram feed. So this is between 3 and 60 seconds long. If you do have longer video content, don't panic, because we're discussing that later on. But if you wanted to add some video to your feed, just to shake it up a little bit and make it a bit more interesting than always just photos, you can do that. You can also, rather than just adding a single photo, you can add a swipe through. So actually, if you're introducing a new service or a product, you might think actually one graphic isn't enough, one photo isn't enough. So you want to do it where people can swipe through to view. Or you might do a swipe through of a before and after or something like that, or different colours of a product so people can vote, or so anything you can do just to get as much engagement as you can. Instagram also provides some great features for you to increase your engagement. So one of these is you should always, if you can, tag your location in your posts. So whenever we do a post, we would always tag either Introtweet, so our business, or we would tag just Taunton as a whole or Somerset as a whole. And actually this is a proven way to get more engagement on Instagram, because you're just putting yourself, you're linking yourself with a location. So always do this on your posts. Even if actually you work with businesses everywhere like we do, like actually you're still a local business, and actually it's a good chance to get a bit more engagement. You can also tag people in your content if you want to. So for example, if I did a post after today and I managed to get a screenshot or something of us all on Zoom, I might do a photo of our workshop today saying thank you for joining us, or Somerset Chamber might do that. And they think actually I want to tag everyone who's here today in the post, so they'll see it and they can hopefully come and engage with it. So when you upload a picture, and I'll show you how to do this in a moment, you can type everyone's @username. So it's, again, the username is important again. Type in everyone's @username, tag them in the photo. They'll then get a notification that you've done so, and they can come over and engage with it. If you're not tagging them, you're then just hoping that they'll find it, which then is hard sometimes, because there's so much content on social media, you can't rely on people doing that. So tagging people where you can. You can also, if any of you sell products, you can also get Instagram shopping set up. This works best if you've already got Facebook shopping set up, but you can do it anyway. But you can tag products in your Instagram posts. If you're mentioning a particular product, people can then just click and easily buy it. One of our sort of top tips at Introtweet, and hopefully this is something that you will really take away from today, is we don't recommend linking Instagram and Facebook. So lots of people do a post on Instagram, and Instagram almost encourages you to do this, which is silly, and say, oh, actually, it's really useful if just clicking one button on Instagram, it can also post to Facebook, because that's 2 jobs done. All that happens then is you've got a perfect Instagram post appear on Facebook and actually not be a very good Facebook post. So for example, if you've tagged people in your Instagram post and put @Introtweet, @Chamber Somerset, this isn't going to tag them on Facebook. All you're going to see is the weird @ symbols, and people on Facebook it will be really obvious that it's not a Facebook post, so people aren't going to engage with it. On Instagram as well, and I talk about this later, but you use often 11+ hashtags in your Instagram post. So hashtags that are linking your content to your local area, to your industry. So we might use hashtag Somerset, hashtag Somerset Business, hashtag social media training, etc., etc. On Facebook, sometimes you see hashtags, but people only use 1 or 2. If suddenly your post on Facebook has 20 hashtags, you can see that it's not meant to be there, and it just looks a little bit lazy and doesn't look quite right. So we would really strongly advise not linking them. And you can post the same content, but just making sure you do it from each platform, so you really use the features of that particular platform. We'd recommend posting consistently to your feed if you can. buy consistently, we don't like to say anymore. We used to sort of put a real figure to how often you should post and when, but actually it can be quite different for every business, and you might find different things work for you. But we recommend posting, if you can, at least sort of 3 times a week, 3, 4, 5 times a week. But actually, if you've got brilliant content to share, brilliant content will always go down well. So I think sometimes people panic and think, if I've done an Instagram post in the morning and then 2 hours later I post again, it's not going to get shown to anyone. But actually, if that second post is you've just won the best social media company in Taunton or the world or whatever, if it's a really good post, it will always get engagement. So don't get too hung up on it. Just make sure you're posting fairly consistently. So you might say, we're going to post twice a week or 3 times a week. Just make sure you stick to what you can do. Make sure as well you don't get carried away. So sometimes after our workshops, people will think, oh, this is great, I'm going to post every day of the week and I'm going to do posts and videos, and you sometimes you might do that, but sometimes you're setting yourself up to fail sometimes. So just be like, actually, I'm going to post 3 times a week, and start to plan that to start off with. You can use some apps, if you like, to sort of brighten up your feed a little bit and do things like boomerang. So that was the video that repeats back and forth. There's an app called Layout where you can create kind of collages of all your work, or you could do that on Canva. So Canva is a free graphic design software, and there's a perfect template for Instagram posts where you can make sure it's the perfect size for your Instagram feed. So you want to make sure, and it's basically a perfect square. So you want to make sure that any photography or things you're doing are square if you can, or you use something like Canva to make it square so it doesn't kind of cut people off. Also, you can consider doing something like an Instagram theme. So we do some Instagram themes for our clients. Sometimes you end up thinking, why did I start this theme? Because it can be a bit limiting sometimes. So for example, this first one is sort of a rainbow theme. So they started off with the purple, it goes blue and green and yellow, etc. And it looks really nice. But sometimes you might have the perfect photo to share, but because it's the wrong color, you can't. And it can end up being a bit limiting, but it does look really nice. The second one is more of a kind of color palette. So this potentially is a little bit easier to follow. So if your business color is green, you might say, actually, in all of my photos, I want there to be some greenery or some of our logo. So it's not limiting. It doesn't stop you posting, but it just gives you a little bit of a color palette. You can see on their posts as well, they're kind of using the same filter, so all their photography is quite sort of dark, and you know, it looks lovely, but it's quite a sort of dark filter. And then this third one is a bit more ambitious. So you can see that they've got their, so you can see the square lines, so each square is a post, but you can use a template on Canva, and this is probably where this is done, to actually create this theme where even though they're individual posts, it looks like one big page because all the colours merge into one another. And that looks lovely, but just a word to the wise that it can be hard sometimes to keep up with a theme, or you do a post and think, oh no, that's the wrong one and it doesn't fit the theme. So try it, but if I was you, I'd go with more of a sort of colour palette trend rather than going straight for the complicated one straight away. But it's up to you. So I'm just going to very quickly again just share with you my phone again, just so I can show you some of the sort of posting tips I mentioned then. So if you're quite new to Instagram, or you obviously just need a bit of a refresh, you can see how to press some of the buttons. So hopefully you can see my phone again, so you can see Instagram. So to do a post on Instagram, you can see in the top right hand corner, we've got a little cross and little plus sign. So you can click on that, and this gives you lots of different posting options, which I'll discuss with you in a moment. So there's lots of different things you can do, lots of different style of content on Instagram. But at the moment, we're just going to do a post. So you click post, and then it automatically links to your gallery. So you can see your camera gallery, and you can then choose a photo that you want to share on Instagram. So we've got there's a sort of Taunton heart trail going around at the moment. So this is one of the hearts around Taunton. So you can see, so I've uploaded it in, and you can see it's a sort of perfect square as an Instagram post. You can see that it's cutting off the heart a little bit at the top. So I can then just touch the screen and drag the heart down, and I can do what I like with it. So I'll drag it so it sort of perfectly fits in. If I wanted to add more than one photo, you can see that there's some squares just above my camera gallery. In the right hand corner, there's some little squares. I can click that, and then it allows me to choose up to 10 photos that I'm going to be sharing. So I can just click on some other photos. I can drag them as well and make them look how I want them to look. Drag as many photos as I like into there. As I said, it's up to 10. Once I'm happy with the photo choice, and you can see that they're labeled and I've got 4 photos picked, I would just click next, which is in the top. And then I can scroll through and see the photos that I've done and check that I'm happy with that. And then underneath, there's lots of different filters. So filters basically just change the color of the picture a bit. Sometimes make it look better. Sometimes actually the photo is just beautiful as it is and you don't need to add filters. So it's up to you whether you want to. Be careful if you're selling products and things, because the filters can change the color quite a lot. And obviously you want to make sure people, you're not kind of misinforming people what it might look like. But if I just click along some filters, you can see that sort of really brightened it up. Some of them add a bit of a sort of vintage look to it. This one's black and white. So you can just scroll through and you can spend as long or as little time as you like doing this. I think I'll just go back, keep it normal without a filter, click next again. And this is where you're actually writing the post. So as I said, with the recommendations, making sure you're always adding a location. So I'm going to add Introtweet Limited because that's where I am today in the business. So click Introtweet. If your phone often does a really good job at suggesting locations. If it doesn't, you can just click add location and you can search and you can type in anywhere you like. And it doesn't have to be where you are. So actually, we've also got an Exeter office. So if I wanted to post and link to Exeter, I can just type Exeter in here and it will pop up and I can share it. So I'll pick Exeter as our location at the moment. Tag people is above the location. So if I wanted to tag people in this post so I get more engagement, which is something that's great to do, you can just click tag people. You can click on the image and then tag people in it. So I know that this heart was made by Go Create Taunton. So I'll just start to type in their name and it pops up. I can just click on them and then they're tagged. You can tag up to 20 people in an image. So I could tag Taunton magazines, Taunton businesses, I could tag the chamber. You can tag as many people as you like if you want to, so they'll see it. Click done, and then you'd write your caption here then. And so your caption will just say something like, it's brilliant to see this heart trail around Taunton. Such a good, gorgeous heart. Doesn't it look amazing in this sunshine or something? Maybe trying to ask a question. So to get people to comment, I could say, have you taken part in the trail yet? Have you spotted any hearts around Taunton or anything? Just to try, you're always trying to encourage engagement. So once I'm happy with what I've written, just write whatever at the moment, you just click OK. And then you click share, and then that would go onto my Instagram feed and it'd be a post. You can see underneath, it's encouraging me almost to click. So I put it to Facebook, I put it to Twitter at the same time. As I said, please don't do this, especially if you link it to Twitter. It just tweets an Instagram link. So it doesn't even tweet your beautiful picture that you've just worked so hard on. So I'd recommend not linking it, as I said, for all the reasons I mentioned at the start. So that's how to do a Instagram post. So basically making sure you always tag people if you can, you always put your location. So bearing those two things in mind if you can. So when it comes to doing posts, as I showed you then, you can either just do a post and making sure you don't forget about these, you know, these are important to do, but you can also do lots of other things. So one is Instagram Reels. So Instagram Reels are fairly new really to Instagram, probably the past maybe 6 months or so. It's probably been longer than that, time go, you're never quite sure, but roughly 6 months or so. And these are really short, engaging video content. These are short video clips, or actually you can use photos to create a video. So actually, if you're a bit worried you don't have much video content, and actually not all businesses do, you can create videos just using photos. So actually that should be accessible to everyone here to use Reels if you can. Because Reels are new, Instagram love you using them. So because they love it, you're using them, they'll then show it to more people and they'll get more engagement. So part of social media is playing the game a little bit. If you know Instagram love Reels, you really should be creating them. Also Instagram stories. So I've mentioned stories a little bit and I'll show you some examples later on. But basically these are photos or videos again, and they're shown in a sort of slideshow format, and they're right at the top of the feed when you go onto Instagram. I'll show you where these are in a moment, but they really invite you to watch. So lots of people now don't actually scroll through posts very much now. They might look at the first 2 or 3, but because Instagram stories are right at the top and they're almost sort of buzzing and really encouraging you to click on them, lots of people just go straight to stories, and this is how they get their Instagram fix. So to put it simply, really, if you are on Instagram, you have to be using Instagram stories. You know, you're almost not on Instagram properly if you're not using stories anymore. So Instagram stories are something you have to be using, and I'll show you how to in a moment. As I said, you can also go live on Instagram the same way that you can go live on Facebook, and you could do things like maybe sharing a live, you could do an interview maybe with a member of your team. The chamber maybe could interview different chamber members, and because actually we're going to do a 5-minute showcase of every member every week or something. Live video doesn't always have to be you just talking to the camera. You can think of some different ways where you can be there, but the pressure isn't all on you. You can also share Instagram TV videos. So these have been on Instagram for quite a while now, but they were really well received because it means you can now add much longer video on the platform. So you can add video that's up to an hour long on Instagram. So instead of it just being up to 60 seconds and then annoyingly cutting you off, you can now add really long videos. So if you've got a really important announcement, a few of our clients have done Instagram TV videos about the new rules at the moment, and said actually we would prefer it if you wore a mask and we're still having hand sanitizer, and you know there's a bit more to say than you can say in 60 seconds. So if you've got an announcement style video, that would be great to share on there. And there's also something new, fairly new, that's not really used that much at the moment, called Instagram Guides. So this is just a good way to share sort of top tips and recommendation style content. And I'll be going into all of these in a moment. So before we move on to stories and Instagram TV and all the kind of slightly newer content on Instagram, I'm just going to very quickly go through just how to actually build your Instagram account and how to really build your followers. Instagram actually can be a lot easier than lots of the other platforms to grow. And one of the best ways, this sounds really kind of simple really, but the best way to grow your following is to make sure you're following other people. So whether you're very new to Instagram or whether you've already got a bit of a profile, to build your followers, you want to be following others. So as I said, if you're a local Taunton, Somerset business, you want to search Somerset businesses on the Instagram search. So there's a little magnifying glass, click on that, type in Somerset businesses and follow them. Find a local membership organisation or a local magazine, look at who they're following and follow some of them. And just really kind of explore your industry, explore your area, and just try and follow as many people as you can. And actually, lots of people will follow back. So Instagram is quite rewarding in that way, that you do tend to get people sort of following you back on the platform. If you've got a bit more time, maybe check before you click follow, check that they're actually active on the profile. But obviously, if they haven't done a post for 3 years or something, they're probably not going to follow you back. So obviously that will make the following process take a bit longer. But if you've got the time, that might be worthwhile checking before you follow everyone. But yeah, and just making sure you follow some clients, follow local businesses, follow everyone that's here today, and just going on a bit of a following spree. To build your followers as well, a great way is to look at your Instagram insights, which I've shared. You need to be a business profile to access them. They show you which posts are performing the best. So to really grow your account, you're going to need to be sharing great content. So trying to create more of the best performing posts is a good place to start. Also in your insights, you can see who your followers are, whether they're male or female, and where they're based. And so you can just understand a little bit more about your audience, and then you can think, what do our audience actually want to see? Posting good content regularly and consistently, but also varying it. So as I said, sometimes sharing a photo, sometimes a short video, sometimes a long video, and just making sure you're not always just doing the same thing over and over. Making sure, if you can, you reply to all engagement that you get. And I'll show you how to do this in a moment, but you can either just love the comment. So if someone replies saying, oh, this looks brilliant, you can maybe just love it if you want, or you can reply to it. And actually, the more you reply to people and really get in a conversation with people, the better. So if someone posts, Instagram is going to show that to more people. If you reply to their comment, Instagram will show it to even more people. So it's just a kind of really positive spiral. So any engagement you get is brilliant, is gold on Instagram. So you want to make sure you keep this engagement going as much as you can. Also, you want to be using hashtags on Instagram. So hashtags basically are clickable keywords which link your post to the hashtags that you're using. So as I said, the best magic number on Instagram is using 11+ hashtags. So this might sound like a lot, but actually you can use up to 30 on Instagram. And actually lots of our clients do, lots of the people we train end up doing so. So how you'd look at hashtags is you'd pick some that relate to your location. So that actually might be 4 or 5 different hashtags. Then you'd pick a few that relate to your industry. Then you'd pick a few that relate to your actual post. And then you might actually end up being on 15 or so hashtags before you've even done anything. So the maximum number for getting most engagement on your posts is 11+. So trying to make sure you do that. You can also do a bit of hashtag research on Instagram. So you can find out the best hashtags to use related to your content. So I'll show you how you can do this in a moment. But Instagram shows you the trending hashtags to do with your business. So you want to make sure you're using them. Also doing things like you might want to do a giveaway, and actually you might give away one of your products, but you might team up with another local business. And you might say to enter the giveaway, they need to follow you, they need to follow the other business. If the business you're partnering with already has 2,000 followers, you're going to then be picking up some of their followers on the back of the giveaway. So giveaways can work really well on Instagram, so that's worth having a go. And then just making sure you're using all of the features. If you're using stories, if you're using Reels and Instagram TV, once we've discussed them later, you're going to find you are organically picking up followers. But lastly as well, you want to just make sure that you're actually promoting the fact that you are on Instagram. So making sure on any of your leaflets or on product packaging, on your website, on your email signature, on your chamber profile, now you can add all your social media accounts, just making sure you're really promoting the fact that you're actually on Instagram so people can come over and follow you. You could even say to people, actually, if they tag you on Instagram, they could maybe get a discount next time or something, or just anything you can do to get people using your Instagram profile and knowing that you're on there will help you really grow your following. So very quickly, before we talk about stories, I'm just going to quickly share with you, show you again, just a few of the things I mentioned then about hashtags, in case that was new to you, or you haven't really used Instagram that much. So the first thing I'll show you just very quickly is just how to reply to engagement on Instagram. So engagement can come in a couple of ways. So it can come in the form of comments. So you can see on one of our pictures here, we've written a caption, and then you can see a few people have commented saying great photos, etc. So we replied to one of them at the bottom saying thank you, but we've also, you can see the red heart next to it. So if I red heart for a minute, this is just me loving the comment. So they're getting a notification to say that Introtweet has loved your comment. So you've done a little bit of engagement with them. Ideally, you'd be replying to all the comments as well. So you just click where it says reply and you'd write, thank you, really pleased you love them or something. If someone's asking a question about a service, if someone's asking an inquiry, you can send them your email address, you can ask them to send you a message, you can reply however you like to. So messaging, if I go onto our profile again, so if I click in the bottom right hand corner, you can see our little picture of our Instagram profile picture. If I click on that, it takes you to my profile and you'll be able to see here if people are sending you messages on Instagram. So you can see that you might message. So Somerset Design Studio, they did our photography. So we've messaged them before, and this is messaging that's happening just between you and a business. So this is private messaging. So actually, if someone's asking a question or an inquiry on Instagram and you might want to take it elsewhere, you might say, actually, can you send us a direct message, or a DM is what it's called on Instagram, so we can kind of chat further. And then a little bit about hashtags then as well. So I mentioned that you can do a little bit of hashtag research, and this is something you should try and do as often as you can, really, because sometimes it will change a little bit. But if right at the bottom of the screen on Instagram, you can see there's a little magnifying glass. So that's where you go if you want to search. So if you want to search for anybody on Instagram, if you want to search for hashtags. So I just click on that search, type search in the top. So if I put hashtag Somerset, and then if I go across to tags, so instead of top, if I click on tags, this will show me all the hashtags. So Somerset, there's 1.8 million posts that link to Somerset. So this is a really widely used hashtag. So you want to make sure that that is in your hashtag bank. And you could have hashtags that you use on all of your posts. You know, you don't need to come up with 11 plus for every different post you do. But it also does some recommendations. So you can see fourth down, Somerset Life has nearly 100,000 posts. Somerset Business, 27,000 posts. Engage Somerset, Somerset County, Somerset Artists. So you just have a little scroll through there and it just shows you some of the widely used hashtags around your industry. So if I type in social media, so you type in your industry, it shows me then social media marketing is one I should be using, social media manager, social media management. Instagram does a lot of this hard work for you. And also there's something quite cool that you can do on Instagram as well. So if I type hashtag Somerset again, go to the tags, you can then click on the hashtag. So I'll click on Somerset at the top there, and I can choose to follow that hashtag. So you can see I already am following it, but I'll click off. So you can see there's a blue follow button. So I can then follow that hashtag, which means that Instagram will automatically show me the best performing content around that hashtag. So this might be businesses I follow, but also it will be people I don't follow. And then if I engage with it, if I comment on it, they'll hopefully come over and think, oh, who are Introtweet? Oh, I'll follow them. And oh, they do social media or whatever. And it's just, you're doing engagement, you're doing brand awareness with everyone. So following hashtags to do with your location, following hashtags to do with your industry is something we'd recommend. And then when you scroll through your feed, sod's law, it won't show me now, but when you're scrolling through your feed, you'll see all the posts and people you follow, but then I won't keep going forever, but then at some point it will show me a post that actually I'm only seeing because I follow this hashtag Somerset. So it's something that's really worth doing for your business. So just having a little play, and actually you don't need to follow loads. You might just think, actually I'll follow 3 or 4 that are key to me, and I might actually change that from time to time. But doing a bit of hashtag work, if you can, a bit of hashtag research is going to be something that's really important for you. So just before we have a break, I'm going to discuss Instagram stories with you. So stories I've mentioned a lot already, because as I said, stories are key to Instagram, and you're almost now not really on Instagram if you're not using stories that much. And that sounds a bit dramatic, but actually, as I said, people tend to only watch stories now and not scroll through the feed as much. So first of all, I'm going to explain what stories are, a few recommendations, and then you're going to have just 5 minutes or so just to look at your phone, watch a few stories, and have a little think about how you could use stories for your business. And then I'm going to just ask a couple of you, if you don't mind, just to share some examples with me, thoughts with me, and then we'll have a sort of 10-minute break or so. So stories are one of the key ways content is digested on the platform. So these are the slideshow basically of videos and photos. And this is how content is shown to you on the platform, and it's really on trend at the moment, and it gets really high engagement levels. So basically you need to make it a priority to be using them. As I've said throughout, you can share photos and videos, sort of behind the scenes content. They only last for 24 hours, but actually if it's brilliant and you think, actually, I don't want this to go, you can save it to your stories highlights, and I'll show you how to do this in a moment. So when you do a story, so those of you, I've just noticed, I think Metric Engineering have spotted it and they've added it to their story, but yesterday afternoon I did a story saying, I'm excited to be running this Instagram workshop today, and I tagged in the businesses I could find on the platform that are here today. So you then get a message saying Introtweet UK have tagged you in the story, and then you can add that to your story, as Metric Engineering have done. So it's great if you can tag people in your story, and I'll show you how to do this in a moment. But basically, it gives people a nudge that you're talking about them, and they can then engage with it. They can then choose to add it to their story as well. So you'll often see, there's a local cleaning company, and I'll show you in a second, Poppy Dazzlers. I saw this morning they've done a story, and it was a business had tagged them, and they'd done a little video of their hot pod yoga. It was so a little video of their now sparkling clean premises because Poppy Dazzlers had been in, and they tagged them. Poppy Dazzlers could share it to their story, and then that's just all of their followers are going to see that then, and that's a great way to share and promote their business. So you can share photos. You can either take the photo live, or you can share a photo just from your phone gallery. So it could have been taken a year ago, you know, it doesn't matter. Or you can share videos, and it might be you talking, it might be you showing you making a product, it might be you going to a networking event, or a picture of your name tag at a networking event, or anything. Anything you can think of that just adds a little bit of personality and sort of is a bit of exciting news or information that people will want to learn about your business. So if you're making a product, or you're making marmalade, for example, if you maybe did a slow-mo video of you stirring it, or I don't know if you even do stir marmalade for making it, but you do stirring it in a sort of slow-mo video. It's just a great way to promote your business without always just saying we make the best product, you know, in Somerset. You're just sharing a little bit more behind the scenes. And there's lots of extra things you can do in stories. So you can add polls, you can add countdowns to events, you can put a little question box so people can get in touch with you really easily. One of the best features is you can add your location again. And actually why this is good is, so if we put our location as Taunton, everyone who follows Introtweet on Instagram can watch your story, but actually everybody who's iPhone or whatever knows they're in Taunton will get a chance to watch our story. So these might be hundreds of people who don't follow us will then be able to watch our story and then come over and follow and engage with us. So there's loads of features that Instagram are really helping you to make the most of it. So I'm just going to show you by sharing my phone screen again, some stories. So you can really see what they look like, and also share with you how to do a few of these different things. So stories are, so you can see our Introtweet profile picture of the three of us. To the right then, you can see all of these circles. These are Instagram stories. And you can see around them, they've got the sort of pinky orange Instagram colours around it. And they're inviting you to watch, really. And lots of people, you watch one, then the next one automatically plays. So you find yourself watching stories, if you're anything like me, for quite a while. So they're a great way for people to see your business. So if I just show you our story for a second, so I'll just click on our profile picture now, click on it, and it shows you our story. So this is the one I did yesterday. So it said, looking forward to running our Instagram workshops. So I tagged Chamber Somerset in there. I put our location as Introtweet. So this will be shown to everyone who's in this Taunton location. And I'll show you how to do that text in a minute, so it looks like you're typing. And it's just trying to make it as interesting and as nice looking as you can, so people watch it and read it and stay on it. So you can see that this picture takes up the whole rectangle. This is because this is a Canva, so that free graphic design software. This is an Instagram story template on Canva. So it automatically had this phone for me that I could just add a picture in, and it helps you create really nice looking images really easily. On Canva as well, I could add that little the heart like symbol that's adding up there. And you can just make it look as nice as you can. If I wanted to add it to my stories highlight, so it lasts forever, you can see there's a highlight heart right at the bottom. I can click on that and I can choose to add it to any of my existing highlights, or I can create a new one. So this is about workshops, so I'll say actually I'll add that to my workshops highlight. I also did another story, so straight away after, so I used the same template, but then I tagged some of the people that were going to be here today. I tagged them in my story, so they'll get a message and they'll see it and either add it to their story or reply or follow us, or do, you know, it's just telling people that you've shared a story about them. So that's what stories look like. If I go into my messages, so I can see, so Air Seal Products, they've just seen that story, so they've then liked it. Metrics Engineering, that are here today, so they've added it to their story. So that's them there then for their followers to see. So for example, if that was a client tagging you because they're really pleased with their service or their product, your followers are then seeing that, and that might encourage them to get in touch. So I'm just going to scroll through the top and we'll watch a couple of stories. Hopefully there's nothing weird and wonderful going on, because sorry I haven't checked these and I'm watching them live. But so I'll just have a look. So, and I'll stop if there's a one that's worth looking at, but I'm just kind of clicking the screen to scroll through. So this one, so this is Bumbly, so they make lots of different chutneys and jams and things in Somerset, and they go to lots of different events. So they're showing a bit of a behind the scenes of their product. So a cucumber is growing where they're growing their local produce in Somerset. So they've added text over the top. You can see they've got the little cocktail glass in the corner, so that's a GIF, so that's moving and just adding a bit more excitement. And they've also added some hashtags as well to their story. This is another, so behind the scenes, someone's working outside, added their little images, added some text over the top. They've done a poll as well, so to encourage people to engage. And the more people engage with your stories, the more Instagram will show it to people. So doing polls, asking people questions is a great way to get a response. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to actually create a story. So it's the same way you go to create a post. You click on that little plus icon, which is at the top of the screen, so the right-hand corner of the screen. So you click on the plus and you click story. If that's not there because your phone hasn't updated or you haven't got the newest version, if you just click on your profile picture, there might be a little plus button next to your profile picture. You can click on that and you can then add a story that way. Oh, has my phone disappeared? Try and do it again. Yeah, so there's various different ways, but you can add a story either by clicking on your profile picture or by clicking on the same way that you would create a post. And I'm just going to show you now, when my phone's linked, just how to create a story and just how to access some of these different features. And then you're going to be able to have a little play yourself. And then also it's worthwhile just having a little think about how you can use these stories for your business as we're going forward. And that will help you when we come to talk about strategy later. It doesn't seem to be wanting to share. It's worked perfectly the whole time and then it stops. Right, so you can you see my PowerPoint at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, try and share my phone again.
We can still see your phone, it's just not doing anything.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, we can still see your phone.
Oh,
we
sorry,
could do. It's on your PowerPoint now, but we could still see your phone.
My phone picture disappeared.
I'm not able to see the phone, sorry.
Can you see the PowerPoint at the moment, Jennifer?
Yeah, I can see the PowerPoint, but the phone vanished about
okay.
maybe 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Okay.
I think I got rid of it because I thought you couldn't see it. Sorry about that. Right, hopefully. All this is just telling us it's time for a break. So if this doesn't work, we'll just take a quick break. Right, can you see my phone?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, right. So I'll quickly just show you how to get the story. So we click on a plus symbol, hit story, and then you can see, first of all, it just goes to my camera. So I won't, but I could take a picture of us all now. So this is my setup. I could take a picture of us now and add it to the story. But what I'll do instead is go to my gallery. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see my photo gallery. So I'll click on that. You can see my templates, which I created yesterday on or Friday on Canva. So this fills the whole screen. So to start off with, it already looks good, really, because it covers the whole screen. And you could maybe decide they could always be the same color or anything that suits your business. So you can do a number of things here. So you could add music. So you can see there's some musical notes. So I could click on that. And I could choose some music to add if relevant. I could also add a filter. So there's some little kind of sparkles. I could add various filters to it. So there's lots of things you can do. Some just make it a bit brighter. Some add words, some add sort of funky rainbow pulsing things like that. Some of them sort of make it look a bit vintage. That's adding stars. And you can just scroll through and there's so many. But sometimes you might think, actually, that looks fine as it is. If we go right to the last one, there's the AA. So that's how you add text. So if I just write here, Instagram workshop, you just type that in as normal. And I can add some emojis or whatever I want to that. And then I can change the color of this. So if you go right to the top, you can see there's a sort of rainbow circle. If I click on that, I can choose different colors. So I could choose purple. And then if you want it, so when I first showed you my story, the text was sort of looking like it was typing. So if you go to one of the AA buttons right at the top again, so the third one along, if I click that, then you can see it looks like it's typing again. So sometimes that looks quite cool on it and just adds a bit more of a visual element. Once you've added it, Instagram just puts it wherever it goes, sort of thing. So you can just touch it and you can drag it around and you can make it really small or diagonal or really big, and you can just do whatever you want with it. So if it covers someone's face or isn't in the right place, you can move it around. If you decide actually you want to get rid of it, you can just hold on it again, and can you see a little dustbin appears at the bottom? You can then get rid of that. So you'll find that if you're adding a photo to your feed that was taken a week ago, it automatically adds the date to your story, which you don't really want because it's just massive and it gets in the way. You can hold on the date, drag it to the bottom, and there's a little trash can, so you can get rid of anything you don't want. So I say, right, I don't want that anymore, it's gone. The one you really want is the 1, 2, 3, the fourth icon along is a square with a smiley face on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, square with a smiley face. This is the button you need really to do all of the cool features I've mentioned, like location and polls, etc. So I click on that. You can see everything you can do. So you can add your location, click on it, it searches, and I can add, so I'll add Taunton as a location. And this is important, is it adds it to the whole Taunton story. Instagram adds it to the middle automatically. I don't want it there, so actually I'm going to make it smaller. So you just use 2 fingers on the screen and you can just pinch it and make it small or big or do whatever you want. And then you can drag it wherever you want it to be. If you touch it, it changes. So it can either be rainbow or purple or clear. So this is why stories, you can end up here all day playing around with it. But so actually I want that rainbow. I'll keep it at the bottom, go back to the square with a smiley face. I can add hashtags, I can add music, I can add GIFs. So GIFs are just kind of moving images. So if I sort of type in Instagram hearts or something, I can then add in one of these and I can make it bigger or do whatever I want with it and just add a bit more variety to what I'm doing. So you can search any keyword relating to your business in the GIF and it will, you can find it, there's a GIF for everything and you can add it to your story. I might say, actually, I'd like to do a poll. So I'll click on poll, which is one of the features. It's also saying it's 28 degrees in here, which it feels like. So I can ask a question. So I might say, do you love Instagram? Something not very creative, but do you love Instagram? And then I can change this. So it doesn't have to be yes or no. But this one is yes, so I can put yes, maybe add an emoji, and then no, I can say not yet or whatever. But you can also but ask people to choose their favorite color or flavor or ask people where they're based or anything. When it's done the poll, you can then make that smaller again and you can drag and drop it to go anywhere you want it to go. It doesn't look great with that background, but there we are. So you can drag it wherever you want to be, and then when people see it, when people are watching your story, they can then click yes, not yet, and you can see how people are voting, and you can even see who has chosen each option. So actually, if you're saying, would you like a unique discount code, if someone clicks yes, you can see who they are and you can message them, and so it just gives you a bit more information. And you can also add things. So next to poll, you can see this sort of, this is kind of a swipe poll. So you can say sort of how much do you love the heat or something. And you can change whatever emoji you want it to be there. So you can search and say, actually, I'll have the sun. And then people can swipe along. And so obviously if they love it, they swipe the whole way along. If they don't like it, they swipe a little bit along. You know, there's loads of different features you can add. And you want to be making these stories as engaging as possible. The more engagement you get, the more people that will see them. So then when you want to share this to your story, you just click send to, which is in the bottom right hand corner, and just click share, and it can go straight to your main story. You can also share stories just with individuals if you want to, but most of the time you'll just share it completely to your story. So I won't share this, but you can just click share and it will go straight to your story, and then people can give that a watch. So with Instagram stories, you just want to make sure you're trying to use as many of those features as you can. Always add your location, and always try and use some of the options to really spice up your Instagram story by getting as much engagement as you can. So I'm just going to give you now, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint, and then I'm just going to give you all 5 minutes or so just to go onto Instagram, watch a couple of stories. If you haven't seen the tag I did yesterday with saying about the Instagram workshop today, have a look at that, see how you can add that to your story. Just watch a couple of stories and then maybe just have a little think about what kind of photos, what kind of videos you could share on your Instagram story. And then 5 minutes for that, and then we'll have a break at 11:15 when we've all come back together, get a little bit of feedback, and then we'll go and grab a drink. So I'll just give you 5 minutes or so for that, and then I'll ask a couple of you for your ideas. If you've got any questions throughout, pop them in the chat box. If you aren't currently on Instagram, just maybe have a little think about how you can utilize the feature rather than watching any currently. Okay, so 1 minute to go. If you can all have a little think about what kind of content you can share, and then I'm going to ask a couple of you for examples, whether it's for your business or whether it's for another business in the room that you've got a good idea for. Just have a little think and ask a couple of examples. Okay, so does anyone, lots of you have your video turned off, so that's a good trick to not make me ask you, but does anyone have any thoughts about stories or what kind of content they could share that showed a bit of a behind the scenes to their business?
I had a thought.
Perfect. So what have you thought?
Ours is a bit different than someone that does a product. So I guess, and I've been thinking about this for a little while, I thought one way we could share a story is by when we're on site somewhere. So sometimes we'll go on site before something's being built or after something's been installed. I thought that might be a great way of giving a little bit of insight into the business, just maybe taking like a boomerang or something around a space that's empty or where something's been installed, and then could potentially tag our client in that post. So we could get a little bit of engagement with them, maybe tag on to a bit of their following or their friends.
Yeah, well, that's it. If they've got 5,000 followers or something, then you're really jumping on that, and that's a great way to build then. And that would be brilliant for Reels as well. So you could take a really short video of the before, and then some of the work in progress, some of the after, and then that would be a really cool way to share Reels as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Brill. So does anyone have any other thoughts about stories? Any content ideas? I was going to call you Alex then, but I know you're not Alex, but apologies, I can't remember.
We've just sold a pallet to another country. We do quite a lot of export work, so we've just had the courier, the haulage company, turn up, and so yeah, we could video that and then tag the haulier in it, and then our customers, things like that.
Yeah, and then as you said, tag your location. You could add polls, or perfect. So it's a really great way just to share a little bit of behind the scenes, make your business that little bit more exciting and just really come to life. So instead of just sharing photos on your feed, it just gives you a real chance to just add a bit more variety and bring your business to life. So as I said, I'd recommend that you try and have, because the stories only last for 24 hours, if you can try to, and we don't always do this, but add another story before the other one expires, so you've just always got one if you can, and just trying to use all of the features. So shall we have a break now? If we have sort of 10 minutes or so if we can try by 25 past to be back, if that's okay with everyone, and then we'll do a little bit more on some of the other features, and then we'll be talking a little bit about strategy then to end at 12:30. So see you all in 10 minutes or so. I'll just turn my camera off.
Laura, just before you go, it's Jennifer. I'm just going to do a computer restart because I'm having quite a lot of trouble. Sometimes when you're sharing your screen, it just sort of goes. I think it must be my computer, not your system. So I'm just going to do a restart. So hopefully that'll happen within the 10 minutes. But if I'm not here, I'll be joining you shortly after.
I won't be offended. I think you've left.
No, I'll definitely be coming back. I'm really finding it very helpful.
Well, okay, thanks for letting me know.
All right, see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I think we'll look to start again in sort of 30 seconds or so, if everyone can start gathering back and see a couple of empty chairs. I'll just wait sort of 30 seconds or so before I kick on again, just to give them a chance to get back in the time slot. Right, I'm going to kick on again, if that's okay. Oh, perfect timing. Well, okay, so can you all see the PowerPoint still? Can you nod if you can see the PowerPoint? No, brilliant.
Yeah.
Good. It does show me, but I just check that we're all on the same page. So before we talk a little bit more about video content, so that's Instagram TV and Reels, I'm just going to share with you, right at the start of the workshop, I mentioned that there's recently been a bit of an update with Instagram, and it's made a few businesses start to panic and start to sort of question their future of Instagram, and, you know, it all gets a bit dramatic. But basically, one of the owners of Instagram, or one of the directors of Instagram, shared a statement, and I think a little bit clickbait, a little bit for headlines, trying to be a bit controversial, but basically has shared that Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app. What he meant to say, really, it's no longer just a photo sharing app. So how he said it has made it sound a bit dramatic, and it's grabbed all the headlines. But basically, lots of businesses started to panic because they thought all we share on Instagram is photos. And actually, for the past 10 years or so, Instagram has just been a really visual, brilliant platform to share photos. If I can no longer share photos, what am I going to do? As I said, he meant it's no longer just a photo sharing app. So you can still share beautiful photos, and you should, on your feed and on your stories. But really, to get the most out of Instagram now, you do need to be sharing some video content, whether this is short and sharp, snappy content, which is Instagram Reels, or whether it's longer Instagram TV videos, which can be up to an hour long. The choice is yours, but ideally you'd be using both. But so basically, they want Instagram now just to be that little bit more engaging. And they no longer want it to just be a sort of still photo platform. They want lots of video and just make it as exciting as possible. So that was the announcement. But so moving on from that announcement, then I'm just going to be sharing with you a few of the other ways to create video on Instagram. And then the same way you had a little play with stories, you're then going to be able to have a little bit of a think about Instagram TV, a little bit of a think about Instagram Reels, and then we can share a few kind of thoughts around them. But so Instagram TV is, as I said, these longer videos. So it used to be you could only create video on Instagram that was up to 60 seconds long. And that was quite limiting if you had a lot to say. So for example, these videos all about COVID and all the updates, businesses have got quite a lot to say. So actually lots of them are choosing to share them as these longer Instagram TV videos. And basically videos currently are getting a lot of engagement on the platform. So, and they increase your visibility. So the more video you can share, the better. Once you have the video, so often you wouldn't create this video in Instagram, you'd create a video of a sort of behind the scenes of your business, or you'd be stood in front of your business addressing your audience with some of the COVID updates, for example. You'd film the video off Instagram, then you'd have it on your phone and you'd be able to upload it to Instagram. And then you'd post the Instagram you post a video onto Instagram, the same way that you do a post. You'd write a caption, you'd be able to tag people in the video, you can add your location. So all of the recommendations I made for posts right at the start of the workshop, they're still relevant for Instagram TV. This is just a way to share long video on your Instagram. And I've got the sort of perfect size of video, so I won't bore you by talking too much about the technicals, but the perfect size for Instagram TV videos is a bit of a sort of long rectangle shape. Again, you can use Canva, so this free graphic design software, they've got a template for this. So you can use that so you can get the perfectly sized video for Instagram. And this is something you might be able to think about, something in your business. It was something to share, or an announcement, or exciting news, or something you really want your audience to know. And actually video could be the perfect way to get this over. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of some Instagram TV from a couple of sort of local businesses, just to show you how you could potentially use it for your business, and potentially sort of give you a couple of ideas. Yeah, so it's worthwhile just having a little bit of a think. And I don't know if many of you use video already or in any of your social media. So if you've got some videos that you've previously shared to Facebook and things like that, you can then post it on Instagram as well. You don't need to feel that content is only for Facebook and it's only for Instagram. You know, it can go everywhere. You know, you've taken time to create this video. You want it to go everywhere. You want it to put it on LinkedIn and everything. So don't worry about that at all. So if I go to, so this is the Emporium Somerset, they're based in Wellington. So this is their Instagram feed. So this is all the photos, all their different products. If I click on the middle play button in the middle, then above their Instagram posts, you can then see lots of their videos. So if I click on this, the most recent video, this is an Instagram TV video. I don't think you can hear that over the feed, but it doesn't matter. It's just so it's an Instagram update about COVID, etc. So this is just giving you a chance to share a much longer video on Instagram. And again, if I click, so they've put the title, please read and listen if you can. But I can click on more, where it says more, and I can see their caption. So they've still written a really long caption. So actually, if people don't want to have their sound on and listen, they can still read. But you'd still write a caption exactly the same way you do a post. You still tag your location. You can still tag other businesses in the photo. And you can see this has got quite a few people liking the video. It's got a few comments of people are quite pleased, I think, on the whole, and I don't want to get into it too much, but quite pleased when businesses are still getting people to wear masks and use hand sanitizer, etc. They also shared a good Instagram TV video. So not the most recent, the one before that, when it was their 6th birthday a year or so ago. So they'd created a great video off of Instagram that showed their business in progress and a before and after. So we've already mentioned this could potentially be quite good for a number of the businesses here today, showing the progress of how they built up the shop and got their first traders and things like that. And videos like this you can make in Canva, so that free graphic design software, and you can add the captions. Instagram as well now lets you add captions to videos and automatically adds them. Because they're automatic, they're not ideal sometimes. If you've got any sort of accent, sometimes Instagram gets a bit confused, but on the whole, it works quite well. So this is just an example of some longer videos for Instagram TV. So just how you can use them. You see some businesses use them to sort of show their surroundings, to show where they're based. People may use it so I might do an Instagram TV video sharing some Instagram tips, and it might just be me talking to the camera, sharing some top tips. So a bit of a longer video to just get a little bit more across than just a photo or just a short story that doesn't last so very long. So that's Instagram TV. Now I'm going to talk to you, share screen, PowerPoint, talk to you a little bit about Reels. So Reels really are the opposite of Instagram TV. Instagram TV is quite long, and you're getting a lot of content across. Reels are really short and snappy. They can be 3 seconds long if you want them to be, 3 to 60 seconds. So that announcement I shared with you that Instagram had said they're no longer just the photo sharing app. They are starting to now really push these reels as a way just to make Instagram a bit more engaging. They're trying to rival things like TikTok and Snapchat and just getting that younger generation using Instagram and just giving businesses another feature, another way to share their top tips, another feature to sell their products, and just add a bit more variety to your feed. Reels can be made up of just short videos, or you can make a video using photos. So I'll show you how to do that in a moment, because actually that's the most accessible way that most of us probably can create a reel. So you can just use some photos, and it could be a sort of before and after or work in progress. Or I've got some photos here again of the Heart Trail around Taunton, which I'll show you how we can create into a reel. And then in the reel, there's lots of features again, very similar to stories. So when you're creating it, you can do some bits of video that are slow-mo, or that go really fast, or are the boomerang style, so where video is sort of flipping back and forth. You can add lots of filters. And then when it comes to posting it again, you just write a caption the same way you'd write a post caption. So tagging people, using your 11+ hashtags and things like that. So don't get too caught up in all these different names and all the different features. In reality, they're all different ways to do posts. And actually, you're still writing a caption, you're still using all of our post top tip recommendations, you're just sharing content in slightly different ways. And sometimes you'll see that people are sharing reels, so it's them in front of the camera and they're like sort of pointing to different top tips and things like that. And for some of us, you'll think that's literally my worst nightmare, to be in front of the camera doing all that. But there's often someone in the office that says, oh, I'll give that a go, you know, they don't mind doing that. So maybe try and find, that might be you, or there might be someone in the office that you can use. And you will also get more confident over time with doing live video and video the more you start to use it. So when you're doing a reel, it can be a mixture of photos and video that's already on your phone, or you can actually record video at the time of doing the reel. So I'll show you, we've got a reel that we created. There's a business across the road from us called Company Spaces. It's like a community where people can come together and work. We walked over there and we sort of did a bit of a reel of walking from the office to there. I can literally see it out the windows. It wasn't a very long one, but showing kind of what company offers a little bit. So you might be able to do that for some local businesses or for some of your clients. You know, it doesn't always have to be promoting you. It can be sharing the local area and just kind of showing the people behind the business a little bit. And obviously it's a bit of a overused cliche, but the sort of people buy from people thing. Reels and video is a great way just to show the people behind the business and a little bit of personality. So I'm going to share my phone screen with you again and just show you an example of a couple of reels, because I think that's the best way for you to really see them and kind of understand what you can do with them. And then, as I say, you're going to have a little bit of time to have a look at some reels. So hopefully you can see my phone there. So this is our Instagram grid. So it's called the grid, where it's all the different photos. If you go across one, you can see the sort of the little video icon. So I click on that, and this is one of our reels. If we just watch it for a second. Okay, so that has, I don't know if you can hear the music behind it. I don't think you can, but Instagram music isn't very good at the moment. So you try and search for actually a proper song and you can't. But so it's very sort of cliched Instagram music behind it at the moment, but hopefully that will get a bit better. But you can see from that, hopefully, could you see the video and watch that? You can see there that we've got some boomerang. So where the brownie was going sort of back and forth, that was boomerang. We did a slow-mo of the coffee being stirred. Then we kind of added some filters and did a kind of walk round little video of us. And so you can do lots of things. So this was all filmed sort of live as we were going. But you can also create a reel yourself just using some photos and video clips that you've already got. And reels are what are being really pushed by Instagram at the moment. So we need to get better at doing them. Everybody needs to be making more reels, really. So we post this in the same way I showed you how to do a post and how to do a story. So we click on that little plus icon again at the top. So if you need to do anything really, that plus icon right at the top right hand corner of Instagram, click on that and that will sort of take you wherever you need to go. You can also see Instagram TV videos. So this is how you post your longer videos. So we click on reel. So again, it goes straight to your camera. So if I wanted to, I could film a little video now, sort of showing the setup or whatever. I could do a boomerang, but I won't. I'll show you how I can do it using some photos that are already on my screen. But you can see down the side, hopefully, because there's a white background, you can see down the side, there's some musical notes again, so you can add music to your reel. There's also a little timer, so it says 30 seconds or 15 seconds, and you can get Instagram to time you. So where I said to Cecilia, the lighting people, was it lighting people? Who was Cecilia from?
Yes, yeah.
Lighting people, perfect. Said about you could create a little video of a before of the site, drawing and after. Really, if you're creating videos, you want them to all be the same length, so it kind of looks sharp and professional. So Instagram helps you do that. You know, you don't need really high quality equipment anymore. You know, you can do it all from your phone. You can also, where it says 1 times, you can click on that and you can either create really slow video or really quick video, or speed up the video or slow down the video that you've taken. Again, you can add different filters. So the sparkle, if I click along here, you'll see that there's all different filters that I can add again. So the same, very similar filters that were on stories. Whoops, I clicked and did a video. Delete that. And then there's also a timer again, where you can set yourself a timer. So you can just go for it and try and make it as professional as you can. Right, just refresh that. What can you still see on the screen? Can you still see the filter? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
the moon and stars filter.
Yeah, because I've moved off that, but we're still showing that for a second. So I'll just see if that refreshes. Right, let me just go back to the PowerPoint for a second, because I do need you to see this if possible. Technology works so well sometimes for like the first couple of hours, and then it starts to give up the ghost when you go for more than a couple of hours. Right, just quickly share my phone again. This is the last bit of screen sharing I'm going to do, so hopefully it will. Okay, so can you see my phone again?
Yeah, that's
okay, so we click post, go back to reel. So again, you've got all the filters, the features down the side there. What I'm going to do is just create a reel out of some photos I've got already on my phone. So I'll go to the bottom left-hand corner and I can see my camera gallery again. So if I'm going to choose 3 different images. So if I click where it says green screen, if I click next to that, to the right of that, there's those little squares, and I can pick to choose 3 different images. You can choose loads of images, so you can go to town, but I'm just going to click 3 there, click next, and then you can see then that it's going to showcase, and it automatically shows each photo for 5 seconds, but actually I want it to be a bit sort of shorter and snappier than that. So I just drag, can you see here, I can just drag it and make it as long or as short as I'd like. So well, sorry, you're seeing on my WhatsApps. If I'll just drag it here, and I'm going to make each photo show roughly for 2 seconds. So I can just go through and I can make them all 2 seconds and then click add in the top right hand corner, and I can just add photos, I can add videos, anything that I can either add stuff that's already on my phone, or I can film live and do a live video or a live or a slow-mo or a really quick video. I can do whatever I like now, but to start off with, I'm just going to do some photos. So I've added 3 photos now that I want to be in my reel. So pretend these are products or behind the scenes a service at your business. I now click preview. So I can see then that I've got 3 photos that are all showing for roughly 2 seconds each. So if you wanted to, you can just have it. And if you share it for 1 second each, it's then an even quicker transition, which can look quite cool if you've got different products with different colors, or if you're showcasing all of your team and different team photos or something. Sometimes the quicker the transition, the better. But then again, the same way as stories. So as I said, I've introduced you to lots of features, but actually they're all similar in their recommendations. They're all similar in how you do them. So again, like stories, you've got all the features at the top. So I can click music and I can add in some music here. You can search, but as I said, the music is pretty limited. So probably if you search a sort of a song that's in the charts or one of your favorite songs, it's probably not in there. So it's better to just have a bit of a scroll through and see if any of these suit what you're sharing. You can then do a voiceover. So if you click that microphone, you can speak over the video, which can work really well. And sometimes that can be a great way if you don't want to actually be on the video, but you want your voice to be, you might be a bit more comfortable with that. You can do a voiceover. Again, we can add all of these filters. So as I said, there's some that just make it sparkly. There's some that kind of do all sorts of funky things, which might work for your business. If I try and find that moon and stars one again, which is quite nice. So I click done. You've got the smiley face again, the square smiley face, and you can add different GIFs. So if I click GIF, I can then search whatever I want. So I might search for rainbow hearts, because see, that's what we're showcasing. So I can just drag it and move it around wherever I like. And I can add as many as I want in. I can add different GIFs, and you could just add whatever you like in there. As I said, there's a GIF for every business. I could add text over the top as well. So I can say, do what makes you happy, which is what it says on the heart. One of the things you can't do on Reels at the moment is share your location, which is a bit of a shame, because actually that's a great feature. So I'm sure that'll be coming. Again, I can click the third A button along, and it can sort of type like I'm typing it there and then. Again, I can drag that and do whatever I like and change the color and just do whatever you like to it. Where can I put it where it looks nice? I'll just put it there for a moment. And then, yeah, so once it's done and you're happy with it, you can just click next. Then you write a caption the same way that you'd write a caption of any post. So I could just fantastic Taunton Heart Trail from, and I know it was made, or trial. Trail from, I know it was done by Go Create Taunton, so I can type in their username, and then I could add different emojis and hearts and whatever. And then have you checked out the heart trail yet? As I said, if you can try and ask people questions, it will make people comment. If you ask people for opinions, the more people comment, the more your reel will get shown to more and more people. I then want to add in some hashtags. So obviously I'm not going to sit here and write 11 now, but the magic number is still 11 plus again. And as you can see, when I'm typing Taunton, and it's recommending loads for me. So Taunton Pride, Love Wins is the theme of the heart trail. So I can just write as many hashtags as I like there. Again, I can tag people. So you can click tag people. You see that's the third option. Can tag people in the reel. So I know that Taunton Trails have an Instagram, so I'd want to tag them. I could maybe tag, so Word Gets Around as a local magazine. So actually they might be interested in what's going on in Taunton. So you can tag as many people as you can think of that might want to engage. Lastly, before you click share, you can also decide, do you want this reel to appear on your main feed, or do you want it just to appear in the reel section? It's completely up to you. Some people, if you're following a bit of an Instagram theme, as I shared at the start, this might disrupt your Instagram theme, so you don't want to put it on there. But actually, most of the time, it looks quite nice when it's on the grid as well, so you might choose to do that. So I'm going to click share here just so you can see what it does. So that's posting, and I can show you that then appears on our grid. So you can see this, obviously this isn't the most imaginative, brilliant reel of all time, but you can see that we've got the GIFs, you've got the filter, it appears on our grid, and then it also appears in the reel section. So in the reel section, it's full size, so this is where it looks better. And trying to do as many reels as you can, if you can, because Instagram is currently loving them, so you're going to be getting more engagement with these. So yes, share post to your feed, and obviously that's important because as I said, that's your shop front, that's what you really want people to be to see, but you also have to jump on the trends Instagram wants you to do. When you've got your reel as well, people can then like it by clicking the heart in the corner. People can comment on it. So if people are commenting, you might want to reply and keep the conversation going. Then can you see also there's a little arrow? It looks like a sort of paper airplane arrow. You can click on that, and this will allow you to add your reel to your Instagram story. So this will mean even more people are seeing it. So I can click add reel to my story. People can then watch it here, and this counts as a view, it counts as engagement. And that's just going to make your reel go even further. So I've added that to my story. I can then add things like location again. So I might put location Somerset, location Taunton, sorry, again. Add it to my story, and it just gives people more of a chance to see your content and to engage with it. So reels are something that you do need to have a little bit of a think of. I'll stop that before it gives us all a headache with all the flashing. But Instagram Reels and Instagram TV, so long videos, short videos, are something that I would recommend having a think about. If you don't have much video content, sharing some sort of short, sharp transitions of photos is a great way to start doing some Reels content. And actually, if you've got some existing video, you might be able to cut it down, upload it as a reel, and add some funky features to it. So add some text, add some filters, add some GIFs, and just make it as engaging as possible. Oops, sorry, my camera's gone off. Make it as engaging as possible, just to try and get as much engagement as you can. Don't forget to tag people in it so they see it. Don't forget to also share it to your story if you can. So you're just getting as much engagement as possible. But as I said, don't get too hung up in all the sort of lots of different features. When it comes down to it, really, it's very similar to doing a story. It works all the same way. And it's very similar to when you're writing the caption. You should use hashtags. You should try and ask questions. You should tag people. So actually, this is the same recommendations that I made for Instagram TV and the same recommendations that I made for posts. Quickly, while we're here again, I think I was asked, can't remember who it was, but in the chat on the break, I noticed that someone said, how do you engage with the story that I tagged you all in yesterday? So you'll get a message saying that I've added you to your story. You can then, there'll be a button saying add to your story. You can add it to yours and either just leave it. Ideally, you'd add some more features to it. So you might add your location, you might add a GIF, you might add a poll, and just add to it. So this will come in as a message. So how I showed you to get to your messages earlier, it will come in as a message, and you can then engage with that however you would like. Okay, so Jennifer, I can't see the reels on my page. Is it because I haven't made any yet because I need to do an update? It's probably because you need to do an update. That's always the first start to it. If not, try and do that now if you can. Often it doesn't take that long to do an update. If it's not there as a tab along the bottom, it will just be because you haven't added any. But it should be when you click that plus icon that I've showed you in the top right hand corner, there should be a Reels button there, and there should be, especially once you've updated. So another question, do business accounts sort videos to a separate folder, or do you have to do it yourself? Instagram sorts videos to the separate folder. So as I said, you've got your grid of the photos. You can choose for your video content to go on there as well, but Instagram sorts it into Instagram TV videos and into Reels, which is why it looks good if you're using all of these features, because your Instagram profile looks nice and full. It looks like you're using all of the features of Instagram, and actually that looks good. It looks like you really know what you're doing, and you're really clued up with everything. So yeah, I hope that answers that question for you.
Just to clarify, so maybe I'm misunderstanding. So when you had a separate folder that had a little place sign on it for the videos, and then I was looking at our account, and there's been a video that we posted, which probably was just posted as a simple post rather than IGTV or a reel. And that's on our main page with our photos. So that's why I'm wondering why some photos are in that folder with the play symbol and why some are. You can choose when you post, you can choose whether the video just goes to this sort of video tab or whether it also posts on your feed. Oh, thank you.
So I chose them for the reel to go onto my feed, and it automatically goes into the tab. But yeah, Instagram sorts it all for you. So it's easy. When people come to your account, they can easily watch your reels, they can easily watch your videos. Yeah, so Instagram does that for you, but it does give you a bit of a choice as to what appears on your Instagram feed. So I've taught, sorry,
can I ask, you said that we would get a notification to see that what you tagged us in.
Yeah.
Where do I see that notification?
So, right, what's your username? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did tag you. So let's.
I just wondered, we can't see a notification.
Somebody has liked the message that's come in saying I've tagged you.
I've got a similar question actually, because I did get a notification and I'm just trying to look back and see it now so I can interact with it, but I can't find it again. And I can't find messages. Sorry, that seems really basic.
That's okay. Let me share my screen with you again so I can show you where it is rather than trying to explain it.
Thank you.
That's okay. So if I'm on my main, so this is the Instagram feed. So where you're seeing content from people you follow. Can you see in the top right hand corner, there's a little like arrow, like paper aeroplane icon again?
Yeah.
You click. Pardon?
No, I just said yes, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I thought someone said I don't have that. Click on that, and then this is where you see all your messages. So you would have got a message. So if I just go on the Dan's Engineering, they've got a message saying you mentioned Dan's Engineering in their story. So they'll get a message saying Introtweet has mentioned you. They then, which is good to see, have mentioned Introtweet in their story. So, and you can now see it says add to your story. So you'll get a chance to add my story to your story, if you like. And then you can do what Dan's Engineering have done, and you can see on the screen, they've put some text above it saying more social media training for our PR and marketing depth, and they've tagged me in it, so I can then see it and engage with it. Oh, Airso Products have just mentioned you in story, so I just got that notification. So no pressure, but we'll all look. So which is fine, you've just added it to your story, which is fine. What you could try and do, if you wanted to, is add it, but before you click send, you could then do what we've been discussing, where you can add your location, you could add add a poll, or ask people a question, or add a GIF, or say something. and just make it that little bit more exciting. But as your first story, that's brilliant, and that's fine. So in your messages is where this all comes. But great question. Right, stop share. So let's just quickly go back to the PowerPoint. So now I'm just going to give you again 5 minutes like we did for Instagram stories, and just a quick chance for you to go onto your Instagram, watch a couple of reels if you can, watch a couple of Instagram TV videos, but most importantly, just have a think. How could you create a video that was half an hour long for your business? What would you be saying? What would you be sharing? Is there anyone who would volunteer to do that? How could you create a reel? Could you create a reel sharing top tips? Could you create a reel out of photos? Could you create could you do a 5-second video of every stage of your making progress and make that into a reel? How can you do it? And then again, I'll be asking for a little bit of feedback. So I'll just mute myself and turn my camera off. And then if anyone's got any questions, please pop them in the chat. And then I'll be asking for a couple of examples before we have a little chat about strategy.
Laura? Are you there somewhere, Laura?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Quick question for you. Sorry, good question for you, Jen. Okay, so I just replied on your story. Did I reply to you direct, or did I reply to your story?
Yeah, you replied to our story, but that goes into our direct messaging. So you're talking to me directly.
So how would I have gone? How would I have done something slightly differently?
Yeah, so you replied to me as a message, finally getting some training on Instagram.
Yeah.
When I tagged you in the story,
it's a different account. This is a different account because I don't have access to
because this is your personal account.
Yeah.
And I haven't tagged you, you can't add that to your story.
All right,
because if you were on the chamber account, there'd have been a little blue banner underneath that would have said add to your story.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have then added all that text and all the hashtags to that story then.
Okay, so you can't comment on a story if you're not tagged in it?
You can, you can reply to it as you've done.
Yep, directly.
But you can't add it to your story if you're not tagged in it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so just 1 minute left. If you have a little think about how you can use longer video so Instagram TV or these short interactive reels for your business, that would be great.
I had another idea. That's okay.
No, go for it. It's always great when someone comes in, so go for it.
I was thinking for reels, maybe I could do a time lapse. I think this would probably be easy to replicate if you have a product as well.
Yeah.
We use 3D models, so we do 3D modeling and we do CAD drawings. And my thought was I could do a screen recording of my screen and then record me putting together a model and then speed up the time so that it's way faster to watch. So it's maybe 30 seconds when it took me 2 hours or something. And then
if only.
Post that as a reel, maybe so that someone can see our process. But I think you could do that for products. Like I think you could do that for making marmalade easily. And then people want to watch it because they don't want to watch the whole process. But if you do it quite quickly, they'd probably be interested to see how it works.
Yeah, that's it, bro. And that's what we said at the stat at the start. So 80% of people are following businesses. They like to look at a business before they buy from them. So actually they want to see this sort of behind the scenes activity going on. So no, there's some great ideas. Has anyone else got any thoughts about either kind of the short video or how to use some longer video on Instagram?
I was wondering about the speakers for our events, and actually some of our events, actually recording some of the speakers and some of the activity at the events, and then either speeding it up or just taking snippets of what the expert's saying at the front of the room and playing that. Would that translate, do you think?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And I think with reels, they're sort of made up of little clips of it. So you could record little clips of everyone arriving, and then maybe a pan of like the name badges, see when we're all back in person, the name badges, then a little pan of someone speaking, and then a little pan of like the croissants or something. And then when you go to add them to the reel, you can then cut them down. So you can do what I did, where each video or picture just showed for 2 seconds. So then it's just a real short, sharp transition through. And that's just a great way. Then instead of just sharing one group photo of the event, you're showing a reel behind the scenes. And people will think, oh, that looks good. Or look how many people are there. I better book on the next one. So it just gives you that real opportunity just to showcase a bit more behind the scenes of your business and just make it a bit more interesting, add a bit more variety. But simply as well, Instagram want you to be doing it. So if you do it, they're gonna reward you, and their reward is showing your content to more people. So with social media, you do need to play the game a little bit.
So Laura, I have a question. I'm sorry, the marmalade maker here.
That's okay. I just followed you on Instagram.
You are my first follower. Congratulations. So you'll see.
You have to share your username with us.
I will. I will. I'll pop it in chat. So what we'll do. So it's been. It was set up some months ago, obviously, just to get that name. I have then just kind of left it because what we've done is we did put the brand on hold because we didn't think it was the best idea in the world to launch a brand during a pandemic, kind of lose that that noise about it and things like this. So we're ready to go now. My question is, so we'll build content, and I think content can come quite quickly from the particular product I'm making, because I mean, I can take a picture of the label, I can take a picture of people making it, I can make a video. There's so much I can add. What if there's something that we then find we don't particularly like anymore on our Instagram? Is it easy to delete?
Yes. Yeah, you can just go to any post or any video. Yeah. And then in the top right hand corner, there'll be 3 little dots. You can click edit, and you can either completely edit the caption. So obviously if there's a spelling mistake or whatever, you can change it. Yeah. Or you can edit and you can just completely delete it. Great. And that'll be gone for good. So
because I'm just my thought process is, as the brand evolves, it might change into something else. We we might become something, not something else per se, but there might be a theme that we're following maybe now that might not be useful, or indeed something might change. And we might need to just kind of review what content we're putting out there. But no, that sounds
exactly
good.
So really easy to get it get rid of everything. So with
Yeah.
Twitter, obviously you can't edit and everything. With Instagram, you can edit, delete, get rid of, and
Fantastic.
do that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good to know.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great. So on the note of then, so you should be using Reels and they'll get higher engagement. On that note, I'll just quickly, insights, I've mentioned a couple of times, but Instagram, once you're a business profile, you can view your insights. These tell you lots. So they show you how many followers you've gained in either the past 7 days or 30 days. They show you how many people are interacting with your content and how they're doing it. It shows you who your audience is. Really usefully, it tells you what your top performing posts are. So you can say, are these videos, are these posts? And ideally it will be green and it will be growing every month. But then if not, it might just be in the red and saying, actually, your engagement hasn't been quite so good this month. And you can think, why is that? Or maybe it's because I haven't shared any stories this month, so I need to start doing that. Or videos always go down really well, so let's have a little meeting, a little strategy chat about how we can add more video to our feed. Also, you can see who your audience are and where they're based. And actually, if you're a local business, but actually all your followers are based somewhere slightly random, then maybe you need to look into that. Make sure you're always sharing your location. Make sure you're sharing content that local people are interested in, and just really use your insights to sort of to grow and develop. So when you first look at insights, sometimes they can look a little bit scary because there's just so many numbers and things, but just sort of take a breath and look at what it's saying, and actually it's really useful to see if your account is growing and how fast, and what posts are performing really well. So that's worthwhile having a little bit of a look at a later time. I don't want to say it's homework, but there might be worthwhile having a little look at your insights. You'll find, Julie, that because your account's new, it can take a week, sometimes up to 30 days to actually have any insights. So don't panic if they're not there straight away. So just to, so I'm just going to sort of sum up some of the key points we've discussed, and then I'm going to have a little bit of a chat about strategy. And then to end the workshop, you'll just be kind of split into maybe just 2 or 3 rooms on Zoom, and just have a little bit of a chat with a couple of other businesses about some ideas. As Cecilia said, actually, she came up with a great idea for you, Julie, with the marmalade. And actually, all the workshops we've ever done, often someone that's not connected to a business will sometimes have such a good idea for someone. So it's always a kind of good idea to share. So a couple of the key points, and obviously we've discussed a lot today, but I'll be sending this PowerPoint. Obviously you can have access to the recording if you want to watch it again. I'm sure you probably don't, but you can access it whenever you would like to. But key points. 1, your business needs to become part of the Instagram boom. So Instagram is rapidly growing with users, with features. So if you didn't look at Instagram for a couple of months now, there will most probably be a new feature that you don't know how to use will come in. So making sure you're keeping up to date. Making sure your profile is completely up to date. So look at your profile picture, make sure your website link is there. So it can be easier said than done sometimes, but making sure you embrace some of the changes. So as I said, Instagram has changed from purely just being a photo sharing app. It wants you to use more video. So try and do that. Even if all the videos you share are just photos made into videos, try and use videos. Making sure when you can, you've got an active Instagram story as much as you can, because that's how people like to digest content on Instagram. As I said, you watch one and then it shows you loads more. So that's how people like it. People get their Instagram fix and they maybe close Instagram then without doing anything else. Do a little bit of hashtag research around your brand, industry, location. Make sure you're using trending, widely used hashtags in your posts. 11+ is the sort of proven number to get the most engagement. You can use up to 30. Look at your insights and learn from them and sort of grow and develop from them. Consider engagement as much as you can. So I've said it a few times, but before posting, think, how am I encouraging people to engage? Am I asking their opinion? Am I asking a question? Am I asking what color they prefer? Or what are you doing to get people to comment? Because comments are king. Lastly, you want to make a little bit of a plan. So that's what we're going to roughly discuss now, but coming up with a little bit of a strategy. And we're not big believers in having a strategy for the next 2 years. And, you know, businesses change, times develop, COVID happens, you know, stuff happens. So you don't need to have a really long strategy, but having a little bit of a think about upcoming things. So if you post on social media, you will know that there's national days now for pretty much everything. It's currently plastic free July. So lots of brands are sharing how they're becoming more sustainable, more eco-friendly. It's National Chocolate Day, I'm sure more than once a year, but all of these national days pop up. It's probably National Marmalade Day, National Engineering Day. It was Women in Engineering Day I think a couple of weeks ago that we did for a couple of our clients, and they could share some brilliant content. So tapping into these trending national days is a great way to start planning your content and just thinking about how you can share things. So if you win an award, if a really big update happens in your industry, don't just automatically share a photo about it. Try and think, how can I do a video about this, or a bit of an interview with a team member or something. And just really, we use the phrase sort of thinking social media. So when you're out and about, try and have social media on your mind and think, actually, that would make a really brilliant picture to share on social media, whether it was business news or whether it was a little bit behind the scenes. So it could be a beautiful sunset, or it could be a boomerang of ducklings swimming along. Like, lots of things are relevant to share in some form, even if it's just to a story on your feed. And also, quick top tip at the end there, don't forget about sharing photos as well. So as I said, video is great, but making sure your feed is still active, as this is still your sort of shop front and how people are going to first see you. Something that we share in some of our training sessions about content is lots of people say, how can I possibly post 3 times a week or 4 times a week or daily? So we often share this quick formula with them. So it's called the rule of thirds. The first third is just sharing sort of business news and promotion. So this will be if you've got any offers, if you've got testimonials or top tips and things like that. Second is industry news and local news. So if there's big local news on that's worth sharing. So Crewkern, for example, they did a Crewkern in Bloom competition, and it was a judges last week. And so lots of local businesses are sharing stuff about that. So even though it's not directly related to their business, if it gets local people engaging with you, who could be clients, you know, that it's all the same thing. It all works in the same way. And thirdly, if you can share a little bit of personality and behind the scenes content. So we get people saying, well, people don't want to see what I've had for breakfast and things like that. No, that's not what we mean by personal content. It's just showing your face from time to time, and showing if you're having a team meeting and you've all got iced lattes, whatever, like you can do a boomerang of you all clinking your iced lattes together, or just things that just show you a little bit and show your personality a bit more. And this third always goes down the best on social media, some of this more personal behind the scenes content. So make sure this is in there as much as you can. And basically, just by having a strategy, you will find, even if it's just a weekly strategy and you've got a rough plan, on a Monday you'll share this, on a Tuesday you might do a top tip video, on a Wednesday you might share a case study or a customer story. We manage the social media for a music shop based in Yeovil, and we've introduced a sort of, I think on Fridays we do customer stories. So they will share stories about that they've been buying from this music shop for 10 years and now they're in a band and whatever. So if you can just add a little bit of story, a bit of personality to your social media, and do a little bit, type into Google awareness days, and there's, as I said, there's a national day for everything. It's Cycle to Work Day soon, International Friendship Day, so lots of brands will do giveaways on this day, so tag your best friends and they'll win this chocolate or this jewelry. And also think about what you're sharing, but also how you're doing it. So you might say every Monday or every other Monday we're going to do a reel. Friday, the last Friday of every month, we're going to do a long Instagram TV video or something like that. But as I said at the start, making sure you're being realistic and not suddenly going from 0 to saying, I'm going to do a reel every day and it'll be great, because you might not. And then that can be a bit, that can maybe be a bit disheartening for you. So just to end then, just going to give sort of just over 5 minutes or so. And I think Laura was going to do this, Laura from the Chamber, because I think she's the main host. So I think she might be the only one that can do this. Was to quickly put you into some breakout rooms, so maybe just 2. And I just want you to have a little bit of a think about some content ideas or some national days or strategy. If any of you have got a great idea for another business, and just think of a couple of ideas about on Tuesday, you might tap into Top Tip Tuesday and share tips. You might choose to do that in a reel, or you might interview a staff member or something. Have a little bit of a chat about content, and then we'll get a little bit of feedback before we end. Okay, wait for everyone to appear back.
On the screen.
Hopefully people didn't click leave. I almost clicked leave meeting instead of leave breakout room.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, let's do that. So the group I was in then, we're having some really interesting discussions about kind of content to share, how often. They had a little bit of a chat about, has everyone come back? We seem to have.
I think there's a couple still in the room, the second room.
Can you automatically kick people out?
Oh, they're coming.
Oh, there we are.
Where did Kirsty go?
We're back.
Here they are.
People are slowly but surely appearing back. Yeah, the group I was in just had a couple of chats just about a sort of topic that was brought up was, can you post too much and sort of end up boring people? And I think the conclusion that we came to, like, if you're sharing brilliant content, people are always going to be pleased to see that, and actually making sure it's varied. So sometimes they see a photo, sometimes they see a story or a reel, but actually not everyone sees everything you share now. It's sort of as simple as that with social media, because there's so much content out there, everyone doesn't see everything. So actually you don't need to worry about people just seeing everything you do and you just boring people. So yeah, don't let that be something you think about. So just to end then, just a couple of minutes, if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask. A few questions I think I've tackled throughout, but also as well, if anyone wants to, our email address is on the PowerPoint, so it's just hello@introtweet.com, or you can message me on Instagram or whatever you like. So if you've got any questions, please do keep in touch with them. But does anyone have anything burning now? You've all been pretty good at asking them throughout, which is good because you don't forget them. Perfect. Well, that brings us to the end, and thank you for joining. And you've all been a great group, an engaging group, asking lots of questions and jumping in. So thank you for that. And I hope you can enjoy some sunshine in a minute.
Thank you so much, Laura. That was excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you very much.
You
Thank you.
Thanks. I know, I'm a waver, I've realised. It's quite embarrassing.
Yeah.